Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Sharon, and if you're seeing me for the first time, I make YouTube videos as a hobby. And if you're not seeing me for the first time, thank you so much for coming back. It really means a lot to me. So today's video is how I study. I'm gonna be going through the different techniques I use and the different techniques I have chosen not to use anymore through trial and error. All these methods are things that I have used in the past, and there's also new methods that I'm also trying out that I learned from my friends who did better than me, who were straight A students. I also want to apologize for any sounds you might hear. So I have been wanting to make this video for a very long time, but if you watched my life update video, you know that towards the end of last semester things were very difficult for me. I just did not have time to film, and also anxiety. I had a lot of anxiety when it came to this particular topic because I had made so many mistakes last semester, and I was panicking, I was scared, so I was overcompensating by working extra hard. I did not have time for anything else. I would like to prevent a situation like that this semester by starting off from the beginning, doing the right things. Now, during our study break last semester, I noticed that I had been doing a lot of things that were time wasters. I was wasting so much time. I was not studying smart. I was wasting so much time. So before we begin with the video, I just want to start by talking about the things that I did that were extreme time wasters. I mean, time wasters. And that the number one thing that I did that was just such a huge waste of time, even thinking about it, I'm like, yo, Sharon, why were you even doing that? Writing beautiful, cute, adorable notes. Now, when it comes to writing notes, I had the prettiest notes you ever seen in your life. They were so pretty, and I rationalized it in my head by saying that these notes are summaries of the actual notes we have. I put them in my own words, and then I make them pretty, and then because I'm a visual learner, so I use many different colors. Now, this worked for me very well in pre-med. It did me wonders. However, it just does not work with the current caseload that we have. I mean, the bulkiness of these courses alone was enough for me to realize that this is ridiculous. I have made a critical mistake. Now, let me show you some examples of the notes that I had. You see, I would write them on white paper. Once again, my thought process was that since I'm a visual learner, if I make them pretty and memorable, I'll remember them. And like I said, you see, pretty notes, pretty. I was even using highlighters and everything. Now, if you watch Ali Abdo and the rest of the medical YouTubers, you know they absolutely hate highlighting and all of that because it is very passive learning. This is all passive learning. Let me even show you how many notes I used to write, guys. You see, these are all notes. All of these pretty beautiful notes, but they were all such a giant waste of time because the sheer workload we have makes these notes devoid of any actual value, because there's no way I'm going to be remembering all of this just from passive learning alone. So that's something that I have dramatically removed from my actual study schedule. Obviously, I still write notes when I am, in class or things like that, just passively, but it's not a huge part of my studying. Now, this might seem obvious to a lot of people, but for me it was not obvious. And yeah, gone. No more pretty notes. We're not doing that. Medicine is not a pretty course. It's a beautiful course, but it's not cute. It's not a cute course. So there's no way to approach it in such a cute manner. So that's what I'll not be doing. Okay, Sharon, what are you gonna be doing? The first thing that I'm gonna be doing, obviously, is attending lectures. Now, this seems obvious. Yeah, go to school, attend lectures, but it's actually harder than it sounds. It is actually way harder than it sounds. I'm currently doing 10 courses in addition to their labs and all of that, and those courses are not jokes. They're not like small adorable courses, and it's back-breaking work, so it gets very easy to just skip a lecture. I'll be very honest. Last semester, at some point, I just gave myself Wednesdays off. I did. It's true. I was just like, Wednesdays, I don't like this lecturer. I don't like how they teach. I'm not going to be attending. I need a break. That's stupid. Don't do that. Don't do that. Please learn from me. Don't do that. This is a new semester. We're starting fresh. And it sounds easy. And it sounds, oh, just attend lectures. Yo, it's an actual challenge, and I have given myself the task of attending every single lecture as long as I am physically able to do so. So I'm currently doing online learning, so attending lectures is from home. But then when school's open, the idea of waking up early, walking to school, and then sitting in a classroom and then having to deal with, oh my god, it is a lot. But we're attending lectures this semester, okay? Oh, in case you guys did not know, this is my last semester before clinical, so it's a very critical semester. So we're going to be attending lectures. That's the first thing I'm going to do. Now, the actual method I'm going to be using for going through the material I have been given by my lecturers is called the VTC method. Now, V stands for video, like YouTube video or lecture, right? And then T stands for textbook, and then C stands for class notes. Now, going through a video seems tedious perhaps, especially with a gigantic course load, but it is very smart because it gets rid of a lot of the procrastination. If you have a new concept, especially the ones that have difficult names, you know, like if you're having a topic and it's sounding very fancy and it's sounding scary, our human, like the natural process of our brain is to be scared of the unknown. So if it's new and it seems big, your natural reaction is going to be like, this is gonna be a lot of work, let me just do it tomorrow, you know. And that's how a lot of the procrastination starts. And in order to nip it in the bud, just watching a video, something like Ninja Nerd, there's so many different lectures. For those of you guys in pre-med, the organic chem tutor, yeah, that guy, I remember he did wonders for me when I was in pre-med. That really helps. So you have run through the course once, right? Now, in addition to lectures, this is what you're going to be doing. Now, this does not apply to every course. For me, like I said, I'm doing 10 courses. It only applies to a few courses, primarily physiology, behavior science, biochemistry, and pathology, right? And then the T in the VTC method is the textbook. Use your textbooks. Now, obviously not every course needs you to use a textbook. For us, we're very lucky that we have a great anatomy lecturer who has simplified the work for us so much that I just need to comb through his notes, his Word document notes, and then his PowerPoint notes, and then combine that. But for the other courses where it's just either way too bulky or the lecturers are just not in our favor, I will not say names, but in a course like that, like a physiology, a biochem, I discovered pretty late last semester that textbooks are actually my best friends, the best friends I ever have. Our biochem lecturer is actually always telling us to invest in textbooks and stop investing in fancy shoes. And I'm always like, child, I want fancy shoes. But now I get it, I understand. I see what it is. I understand the steez. I get the steez. So that is important. And then for C, that is the actual class notes. Now, if you use this method, by the time you get to the class notes, guys, it's so easy. It's like reading your favorite novel because you already know this stuff. It's in your blood. It's in your blood, right? So that's the VTC method. Now, I will leave you guys to make the decision for yourself. Which courses are you going to be doing all three of, you know, the V, the T, and the C, and which courses are you gonna be picking and choosing. However, with each course, it would be so favorable to use the textbook. Some courses unfortunately do not come with a recommended textbook, so for those, maybe V and just C. And then for the ones that do come with a textbook, textbooks are your friends, guys. They're your friends. Sharon, textbooks are your friends. Become best friends with them. Know them. Be them. Be one with the textbook, Sharon. Okay, so yeah, that's that. Okay, Sharon, you've gone through the videos, you've gone through the textbooks, you've gone through the class notes. That's passive, Sharon. That's passive. And I know, before you start attacking me, I know. I'm getting to it. The actual active recall of it all. Now, obviously, active recall is the best method to attain as much information as possible. It is the absolute best method to remember information, especially in a course as bulky as this one. Now, my fighter of choice when it comes to active recall, Anki. I am obsessed with Anki. I've said it many times, I'm obsessed with Anki. Whoever invented Anki, thank you so much, Sarah slash Madam. You have changed my life and the lives of countless medical students all over the world. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. Yeah, I'm obsessed with Anki. Anki, especially the new update. Anki has a new update, which I'm just even more obsessed with now. I discovered Anki a little too late last semester, and when I discovered it, I was like, next semester, if I make it next semester, me and Anki were best friends like this, and we are best friends. We are like this now. Obviously, you make your little notes if you do want to make your own little notes. If your class notes are enough and they summarize everything, then even better. But if you want to amalgamate your notes and make little questions, obviously when I say notes, I don't mean fancy elaborate notes like these. I mean the bare minimum, most important information. You do that and then you turn it into questions for yourself. Now I will include a little video of how Anki works. For those of you who don't know what Anki is, let me just explain. Anki is an app that allows you to make your own questions and put answers in the form of flashcards, digital flashcards, on your PC. So you download the app on your PC and then you allow it to run in your PC, and then you write your own questions and then type out the answer for yourself. And then what makes Anki different from just like basic everyday flashcards that you make on your own is that, well, it has no bias, right? It gives you the option of, after you've answered the question, it asks you, was this question easy, was it hard, or was it extremely difficult? And depending on what you give it, it will ask you again. So if you answer a question and it was hard for you, it will ask you again in a minute. If you answer it again and you're still not sure, it will ask you in 10 minutes. If you answer that question and then it will ask you again after a day, then it will ask you after a week, and then it will ask you after a month, depending on how easy the question is for you, right? And this is a great way of spaced repetition, as Ali Abdul likes to say it. I sound like his mouthpiece, you know. Next, I'm going to be studying while I'm watching a movie. If you understand that joke, you're my type of person. But yeah, basically, that's what it does. It's a great way for spaced repetition, because while your brain is the biggest sponge of information ever, it does tend to pick and choose which information it wants to keep. And for the brain, it doesn't know which information is important for you. So it's busy remembering Beyonce's latest lyrics to her latest album, which is a great album, by the way. But when it comes to parasitic infections of the GIT, it's like, throw it away. We'll see it when we see it. And in order to avoid that, it's important to continuously go through this material in the form of a question, because that actually requires your brain to use enough energy for it to retrieve that question and to remember it. And the more you do it, the more your brain remembers that concept, hence the term spaced repetition. If you'd like to know more about this concept, just look for it on the internet. I'm pretty sure there are people who can explain it way more technically than I did, but in a nutshell, that is what it is. So Anki is my best friend. Yeah, if Anki was a man, I would marry Anki for sure. Anki is the best that has ever lived, and that's on facts and that's on period. Anki is the best. The next thing that I'm going to be doing that's so important is changing my attitude. Now, obviously, when you're a medical student, I don't know if this is obvious, but for us, we have a course called behavioral science. It's basically a psychology course, and I would argue it's one of the most important courses we're doing, because it's actively debunking a lot of our biases that we have, and I think it's gonna make us the best doctors possible. But a concept that we did learn about was attitude, and how important it is to have a positive attitude. So before, I used to use a negative reinforcement when I was studying. If I were to show you the wall there, I'm actually in my room right now, and if I were to show you the wall, you will see that there's a lot of threats on the wall, and the threats, they range from everything from you're going to disappoint this person, that person, and you have to, like, I was being so mean to myself and basically scaring myself into studying. That's not fun, okay? That's not fun at all. I want my studying experience to be a beautiful one that I enjoy. I want to love the process. I want to get excited to study. Obviously, because I have to study long hours. I'm doing many courses, they're very bulky. I have no choice but to study long hours. And if this is what I'm going to be doing, then I have to love it. I chose to study medicine. I love medicine so much that I dedicated a whole YouTube channel to it. So I should enjoy what I'm doing when I am studying, and that's something that I want to do. Obviously, I have a friend who was telling me that she just basically draws out the grades that she wants to see in the final exams, and then she just sticks that to the wall. And that was like mind blowing for me, because me, I was just doing threats. I was just threatening myself, and you know, she was just like motivating herself. And also another important thing that I have learned is that I read this quote that said motivation is the icing on the cake, but the actual cake itself is discipline. So in order to carry out any of these things, you need to be disciplined, and that's also something that I have to actively work on. When I don't feel like studying, if it's really hot, or if it's really cold, if it's 3 a.m. and that's what my timetable says, then I should be studying at that time. And you know, that's going to be challenging, but that's the life I signed up for, and I shouldn't even be complaining, because that's the life that I signed up for. So when you are studying, it is important to write down your immediate goals, right, for the day, whatever you want to achieve for the day. An example is, you know, like I have this book, and then I just write down in the morning, I write the date, and then I write down what I want to achieve. I try to allocate a time to it so that I do stick to the time, and it keeps me in check. And I love to tick at the end of the day, like what I actually did, and it makes me feel so good. It makes me feel great. I love it. I love it. And I think that's something that you can also implement in your own study routine if that is something that you are having trouble with, which is, you know, staying on a plan. And then my study timetable is, I have designed it so that I don't stay behind. Last semester I was behind just when the semester began. Just the beginning of the semester I was behind. Sis was behind. And with this semester, I have decided to try and combat that in as many ways as I can. And one way that might be small, but I'm hoping it will make a big difference, is the day before a course, I will study it, you know. Instead of studying it at random, I've allocated it specifically to the day before. So for example, today is Wednesday, and I'm studying anatomy and lab science, which are courses that I'm going to have tomorrow. And it will force me to be up to date with those courses. And depending on how crazy your work ethic is, you can actually study before the course, so that when you're actually attending the course, you're not hearing these things for the first time. I hate it when a lecturer finishes lecturing, and that's my first time being exposed to that particular topic, and then they're asking, does anyone have questions? I don't even know if I have questions. The information is still, you know, is still being soaked in. So another thing you can do to avoid that is just studying in advance. Studying in advance. Yeah. Now this obviously works best if you have lecturers that are nice enough to give you the lecture notes before, or give you a heads up about what you're going to study next week, or what you're going to learn next week. Of course, not all lecturers are like these. The ones that are not like this just make everyone's life so difficult. Jeez, they just they make life difficult. Like, just give me what it is. And then when it comes to past papers, like I've mentioned many times on this channel, my school is still very new. We are actually the second intake ever for our School of Medicine, so we do not have that much material to work with. We only have one class ahead of us. So using those past papers, the way I like to use them is I like to use them during exam period to test whether or not I know what I'm doing. Because we just do not have enough, you know, we do not have that luxury, you know, as opposed to an institution that's been around for, you know, like if you go to Oxford and they've been around for centuries, and basically you have your peak of the litter, you know. And that's another thing that I used to enjoy when I was in pre-med. We had so many different past papers to choose from. I think for me, when I was in Cambridge, it used to go back to like 2002. Yeah. Or was it the 90s? I can't remember, but I remember I had so many past papers, like I had so many past papers, but now we do not have that luxury, and it's a bit iffy to use past papers from different schools because that's not how our school is going to be examining us. But if you do have that luxury, use past papers, baby. Use them. I promise you, they will be your best friend. I hope I have not forgotten anything. If you guys feel like I've forgotten something, definitely let me know in the comments. Or if you feel like, Sharon, that method, are you sure? Let me know in the comments. This should be a discussion. And if you have any tips that you would like for me to start trying, any crazy methods you've seen, I'm your guinea pig. Tell me, I'll do it for you, and I'll tell you how it worked for me. I'll actually film a video on that. I've been meaning to try a lot of different study techniques that are a bit crazy and experimental and wacky, you know, like the blurting method, the centering method, everything on Ali Abdal's channel. Like all of those crazy things. I will definitely be your guinea pig. Let me know what you would like for me to try for you guys. I will try it, and I'll let you know if it worked, or if it didn't, I'll show you the befores and the afters. I'm definitely very open-minded when it comes to trying new techniques for studying, especially since next semester is going to be unbelievably hard. If everyone who ever did clinicals is to be taken literally, then I'm about to step into fire. And if I'm gonna go step into fire, I want to have the right armor. I want to be protected. I want to be on the right side of history, you know. So yeah guys, that is the video. I hope you guys found this video helpful and informative, and you know, let me know in the comments what you thought of this video. But thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. If you made it to the end of this video, I'll give you some time to subscribe right now. Thank you so much for subscribing. Now welcome to our journey. If you're already subscribed, once again, thank you so much. I appreciate the support and the love, and we're almost at 500 subscribers, which is crazy to me because I never even had dreams of even reaching this far when I started this channel. You know, my dream was 100 subscribers, and the fact that we have surpassed that means a lot to me. So thank you so much, friends. Thank you for all the support and the love and the encouragement. You know, you guys text me, you DM me, and you tell me keep it going, and thank you so much. So that is the video. Until you see me next time, thank you so much for watching. Bye.